Dual Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. On today's Dual Review, we take a look at some of my figurines. I'm RJ.
And I'm magical. Welcome to Wednesday, the 28th of September. It is Wednesday, and we're doing our focal point. Today we're going to be talking about figurines.
Yes, my time to shine as a nerd.
Yeah, I had my Transformers before, and now he's got his figurines.
I got my figurines. So I really enjoy, beloved characters from comic series and other, animation and whatever property. I like them in statue form because I can really admire them. They get the detail, the musculature and all that. So I picked some of my favorites that I have here on display in my studio, and we'll just start going through them. So, go ahead.
I was going to say, what about that big Venom one right there? Yeah, that's pretty detailed. That's amazing.
Well, let's start with this guy.
Okay.
One of my favorite characters is Venom. Okay, and this character right here, this guy, this little statuette, he's kind of a version that you wouldn't see very often. He's got this kind of roundy small head and whatever. He's very idealized and kind of anime style.
Yeah.
This is a Marvel Saga piece. They did a few characters. Venom was really the only one that I truly liked. They have Wolverine and that sort of thing. But got him. I got most of these off of eBay actually. But yeah, got him. I really like him. He's got some cool
Now what is
viciousness going on.
What is this action?
Yeah, it's just his pose. That's the pose. He's kind of a psychopath, whatever. It's just an interesting pose, and that's part of what I like.
The fish was this big.
This guy have no articulation, but I really enjoy the pose. It's a fun pose. A lot of these do have articulation, but I guess half of them do, half of them don't. So this is one of my favorite Venoms. But my absolute favorite, and this is like the cream of the crop. This is the best one. I probably should save it for last, but can't resist. This Venom. This is a Bowen figure, and he is perched on top of kind of a building corner. Got his hand on the gargoyle here, and again, no articulation, but this one is definitely a classic pose. It's got kind of an iridescent blue to it, and really good detail. The face is awesome.
Oh yeah,
I love Venom. I do. So
how much did that cost?
How much is it worth, or how much does it cost? Because either way, I'm not telling you.
Oh, okay.
They're a pretty penny. I mean, you definitely have to save up for these. These are not something you can buy just on a whim. I got this guy on a steal on eBay, probably half of what it's worth. And he's mint condition. I do keep all the boxes, but I don't keep them in the boxes because what's the point?
Would you say that he's like $1 billion?
No.
Okay.
Possibly to me if he was the last one on Earth and I had $1 billion to spare.
Okay.
Probably not. But he is awesome. Bowen does a great job. I like Slideshow too. I don't have any Slideshow just because they tend to be more expensive. But they do tend to be more dynamic sometimes, a little bit more, even more detail. This guy is perfect. He's my cream of the crop. Proudly displayed where I can see him every day. Okay, so as long as we're into Marvel, I guess I'll stick with Marvel for a while. Another one of my favorite characters is Deadpool. So we've got him here. This is one of the first that they released. It's Bowen, and it's one of the first they released of Deadpool.
Right.
And it's not the best pose. I would have preferred something else
because he's more dynamic.
Yeah, he is very. He's like Spider-Man. He's always got his legs everywhere, and he's always got these weird ninja poses and martial arty kind of things. So they do have a couple now that I would maybe like as well. It's just I don't have the cash. There's one on a Vespa that I just told you about.
Yeah.
He's got a huge gun, and it says the solution on it. So, like, the big gun is the solution to the problem. That one is really fun. I'd really love to get that. But again, it's hard times. Anyway.
What did Bowen make that?
Bowen. Yep. Bowen figures. He has detachable swords. Basically, he's made in pieces.
Right.
Unfortunately, the swords don't come out or anything, but they do come off his back, for transport or whatever. But he's got, shell casings on the floor, and there's just a little details. His odd submachine guns. Unfortunately, none of them are named, which they usually are in the comics. But Just one of my favorite characters and a good outfit
Yeah.
in this one.
And it's still on Marvel?
Still on Marvel. So yeah, okay. Nick is gonna bring in my Juggernaut. This is probably my third favorite character. So we got first, second, and third favorite characters. I don't know why I like Juggernaut so much. I just do. I like his sense of humor. I like that he's just kind of this big dumb, but he's very sarcastic and very. I don't know. He's just an interesting character to me. This is the most recent figure I have. This is from the Marvel Select series, and he does have articulation, like all the rest of them do, but it's pretty poor articulation. Like literally, like if I want to put his fists together, can't do that. If I want to make him sit down, can't do that.
Why would you want him to sit down, though?
I don't know. I mean, like I
Are
have.
you throwing a tea party?
No, I have a maybe later. I have a Hulkbuster Iron Man toy, and he's got pretty good articulation. I actually have him posed like he's holding up the shelf.
Right.
He's holding up the shelf where I have some other figures. So I would love to do the same thing with him. I have another Juggernaut figure from I don't know, years ago, and he has pretty good articulation. I have like a little battle scene with him and a little Wolverine and stuff. That's fun. A little Deadpool. That's fun. But this one is super detailed. And the cool thing about Marvel Select is, first of all, the price.
Right.
Like they're only like $20, and this is a lot of plastic.
Yes, it is.
And the second is they're proportional. Like he and the Hulk are about the same size. You know, Thing is about the same size. And then like Deadpool is, you know, up to here and much skinnier, and they are realistic in that way. And I really enjoy that. I mean, they're like to scale, you know.
That's cool.
And I mean, that's one of the things you complained about with the Transformers.
Yeah, they aren't built to scale.
The scale is all off, but in this series, the scale is right, and it is weird. They reflect the price too, which I've also seen that unheard of. Like it's $16 for Spider-Man because he's small. There's not a lot of plastic there, and it's $20 for him because there's more plastic. I think that's cool.
That is
and
awesome.
they have a with helmet, without helmet version. Anyway,
You also have a
it'll sit right there.
you also have a Apocalypse. How was he from the same series?
Actually, Apocalypse, he was a special figure because you had to buy other figures to get parts of him.
Oh,
And so I actually got him on eBay because I didn't want to buy the other figures.
Are you, wow, that's
He one guy came with an arm, one guy
Right.
came with a torso, one guy came with a leg. And
and
build
then
the
you had to
character.
vulture all them together.
Yeah, and so he's a pretty big character. He's not necessarily one of my favorites. I have him posed fun, but anyway. Okay, so let's move on from
with
Marvel.
a party hat and stuff.
Yeah,
That's really fun.
yeah, right. A scarf for Christmas. Okay, so now we go into anime. This is a Hellsing character. And she's got an arm that is turning into black vapor kind of thing. And it's just another example of the kind of figurines I collect. I like when there's something odd going on. I think she looks really great. Her silhouette looks really great, and she's a great character. She's a sniper from Van Helsing. I forget her name right now, but most of these are pretty well done. They're all from Japan. I think even the Marvel ones are. Well, maybe not Bowen. Not sure. And then keeping in the anime theme, well, this is video games as well. This is Lulu from Final Fantasy X.
Yep.
And one of my favorite characters. And yeah, say what you want to about the bust. That's not the reason I got it. I love the teddy bear, but I love this belt skirt thing she's got. I don't know how well you can see that, but I basically buy characters that I love, right? And characters that have things about
She's got a little
them.
dust there.
Yeah, she does. Oh, they're displayed, all the time.
I just fondled you.
It's okay. It's okay.
Fondled your statue.
So yeah, whatever. I display them all the time, so I don't necessarily dust them all the time. But
Right.
I don't play with them like you play with the Transformers.
right.
I kind of just set them up. Every once in a while, I change their position or something. And like the ones with articulation, maybe I'll go from this to this or something. I don't know. Whatever I'm feeling. And there are a few that I play around with. I have like a Revoltech Dante figure that moves pretty well. It's fun to play. And I got Al from Full Metal Alchemist, and I've got a bunch of Spawn figures. And anyway, so we're almost done here. We'll move her back over here. Well, let's see if you can see her a little bit.
The bust angle.
The other one Nick has here is actually more of a model. And I've always, okay, let me say this. I'm not a Lucas fan anymore. And I really didn't like those movies. But there was something good that came out of it, and that is Grievous. The character Grievous. He died really too quickly in the movies, which pissed me off. But I even watched the Clone Wars, the
Right.
animated series,
Right.
because they have a lot of him. And this is a super dynamic pose. You know, he's got 4 lightsabers. He's taken off a dead Jedi, and he's ready to go. He is a model, so he's
A little flimsy.
yeah, a little flimsy, and I had to put him together a little bit. His insides, you can't see it, but if you shine a light in there, you can like see his organs encased in
Oh,
resin.
yeah.
So that's cool. That's a cool little added thing. I always wanted to build a light that showed up and through that, but I don't
Went
think
through
that
his
would
butt?
quite work. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, super cool. Again, eBay. Yeah, that's not working. There's this magic, by the way. Just gave it away.
Damn it.
So yeah, Greatest here. He was a good find. He's kind of hard to find for a decent price, but he's not nearly as expensive as like this guy over here. And so that's pretty much it. I do have one more that I wanted to show you. It's kind of a departure for me. I don't really collect stuffed animal things, but this is a gift from my wife, and it's perfect. It is Gloomy Bear, and if you see him, he's got blood on his mouth. He's got blood dripping down his chest. He's got bloody claws. And this guy was designed by somebody who did kind of like the did like the Hello Kitty kind of stuff, but it's kind of like the antithesis of Hello Kitty,
Right.
anti Hello Kitty. And there's another one like a rabbit smoking a cigar, which I would love to get at some point, but definitely collectible, definitely from Japan. Gloomy Bear, and he's got wires in him, so I can pose him if I want to. But one of the fun things I do with my figures is I uplight them, especially like this guy.
Mhm.
So he's got this, light in the shadow of his claws behind him and stuff. That's always fun to do. See, I'm a nerd too. So that's just some of my figurines. I definitely say you should check out, if you're interested, check out the
Marvel Select.
Marvel Select, because they're cost effective and they're very good detail.
Right. Yeah.
Articulation sucks, so whatever. And a lot of people buy one in the box and then one to play with. You see, you don't care, but they are collectible.
Right,
so
right.
I definitely keep the boxes. I'm very careful when I take them out, so I do have boxes. And if you ever have to sell them on eBay, that's also another major point, But yeah, I have like Wolverine figures, and I have tons of stuff. Most of it's from eBay. Just wait for a decent price, Find the ones you like. Go to Bowen's website.
Right.
Just see the ones that you like. You'll never know what you find. That's kind of the fun thing. Like, you do a search. I have a Rogue one because I've always liked Rogue. And there were lots of different Rogues, and only one of them spoke to me. The rest of them were kind of meh. Her face was off or whatever. But
Right.
so, EA nerds.
Well, I think it's very interesting that, you collect things that don't move as opposed to I collect things that, I could sit there and, mess with. What does that say about us as individuals?
The only reason I collect figures that are stasis mostly is because they are much more detailed, and I don't have to worry about ugly balls or joints or.
Okay, so
that
you like
sort of
them
thing.
for the detail, and I prefer functionality, I guess?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm very the artistic, just the presence of them. I mean, they inspire me. I look at them, I inspire. I make my own versions. I don't necessarily need to play with them. Although, if I was more into Transformers, they are joints, so you don't really have to worry about seeing joints. But like, take him for instance. If he had a big old,
Yeah.
straight section with a pin,
Yeah.
it just would ruin it for me. I just like this classic pose. It's kind of like a classic drawing come to life.
Right, right.
It's a 3-dimensional drawing.
Oh, that's good to know.
And we're working on figures ourselves. I don't know how many we'll have for
Emerald City, but
we're working on it. And yeah, it's really fun. It's a really fun thing to get into. There's so many more I want. You can send me one anytime. It's a good gift for me. If you want to win points or anything. I'm speaking to you and everybody else.
And me? Speaking of points.
Ah! No! Oh, good job. I'm just glad someone got it. I'll just go back to my nerdy things.
You eat a lot.
Yeah, well, I just go like this a lot. And if food gets in the way, then...
I'm just gonna go like this. And if you get in the way,
Coming up on Dual Review, The Jerk.